What's up, everybody? Welcome back after a short hiatus to another football professional picks video. This week, we're looking at NFL Week 18, the last week of the NFL season, as we talk about our previews and predictions for each game, as a lot of these have playoff implications. Just a reminder, if you're enjoying these videos, definitely smash the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can keep getting this content as we keep producing, especially in the playoffs, and let us know what you think of these videos in the comment section. But with that, we'll get into the first games. And the first one we're looking at with no playoff implication at all is the Washington football team playing the Giants in New York. The games that don't have playoff implications, I'll probably go through them a little bit quicker. But the bottom line here is the Giants have nothing going for them on offense or even defensively either, as they just look terrible against the Bears. Football team doesn't have too much going for them either, but at least something I've always seen out of them is they play with heart. So they're always playing for the coach, Ron Rivera, and Taylor Heinicke. He's always got a chip in his shoulder and something to prove as he's an XFL quarterback. He's just enjoying every moment he's playing the NFL season. The football team has the Giants dominating just about every position on the football field, especially in defense. Their O-line's much better. But bottom line is when Mike Glenn's out there playing quarterback and he's just immobile and inaccurate as he is, especially with that O-line in front of him, I don't anticipate the Giants putting up many points. I don't see the Washington football team might not put up too many points either, but I still think it's enough to beat the Giants by a touchdown or more. So I like the Washington football team to win here in a game where probably no one's watching anyways. Game with some playoff implication, but not for the Browns. The red hot Bengals taking on Browns in Cleveland. The Browns have now been mathematically eliminated from the division title and the playoffs too. So they're really not playing for much here besides pride, which is why it's surprising to me that the line is open here at minus 1.5. I think it's actually moved from -3 Browns to minus 1.5. And by the time you're watching this video, don't be surprised that the Bengals are now the favorite, but this line is accurate as of this time. Bengals here, they're playing for a shot at the 2 seed, 1 seed here. They got to win, and the teams above them being the Titans and the Chiefs, they'd have to lose for them to move up. But at the very least, they don't want to move down any spots in the playoffs either. They also want to be going into the playoffs with some momentum. I don't see how the Browns stop this red-hot offense, especially the connection that Burrow's gotten with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins these last 2 weeks. They look virtually unstoppable. Baker Mayfield with that still, he's definitely not 100%. He's not going to be for the rest of the season, even if they gave him a few more weeks. He's been battling that shoulder injury for the second half of this season, and he's just not been like himself. The Browns don't have a great passing game with how hobbled Mayfield is. So give the Bengals here plus 1.5. Honestly, even if they're like minus 2.5, I still think the Bengals win this game. Is they're actually playing for something. The Browns are hurt, especially the most important position in football, being quarterback. Like the Bengals here to stay hot, and Burrow just to keep slinging the ball to just so much talent at wide receiver around it. Game that I didn't realize had playoff implications is the Saints at Atlanta. The Saints have a very real shot at the playoffs here. I think they have a 35% chance to make it. I think the scenario is that the Saints win and the Niners lose. I believe the Saints, leapfrog them because they have the better divisional record. They didn't play each other head-to-head this year. So the Saints having the better divisional record, they would overtake the Niners if they had the same record. So this is a big game for the Saints here. Falcons not playing for too much. A common theme in the end of the NFL season, especially the last week of the season, is divisional opponents are going to play you harder. They're going to try to play spoiler when you're trying to make the playoffs. And for that reason, I think the Falcons play a little bit harder here. I don't like the minus 4.5 here with the Saints. I do think they win, but it's tough for me to lay that 4.5 with their quarterback play and Taysom Hill being more of a power running back that can kind of throw than a quarterback. I do think, though, with Sean Payton that offense, knowing they need to win this game, I think they're going to scheme up enough to put up points. I think the Falcons are going to compete, despite how good the Saints defense is. They put up enough points to hit this over at 40. This is a pretty low number in my mind, and a game that does matter to the Saints, and I think it matters to the Falcons just for the fact that they want to, mess up the Saints' game plan for a playoff spot here. I think the Saints win this game in a pretty tight one, hitting the over here at 42. This game is merely no playoff implication at all with the Steelers playing the Ravens. As of right now, according to my sources, the Steelers have about a 4% chance to make the playoffs, and the Ravens about a 2% chance. So really not much going on for either of these teams. The Steelers have yet to play the Browns at home on Monday night. For me, if the Ravens have such a low shot to make the playoffs, is it even worth throwing Lamar Jackson out there on Sunday to probably get beat up by the Steelers, who are notorious for their pass rush with guys like Watt and Hayward, really strong defensive front there. If Lamar Jackson does play, is he going to be as mobile as you're used to seeing? and are accustomed to seeing with that ankle injury. I doubt it. Steelers have I add on to that fact that the Steelers have a more realistic chance to make the playoffs than the Ravens. I think they're going to compete in this game as they did when they played earlier this season, and the Steelers beat the Ravens as underdogs that time. I could see a scenario. I think it's very realistic that the Steelers could win this game. More likely, though, I think they cover this 4.5. Again, very little play for the Ravens. I don't know if they will or even should put Lamar Jackson out there just to keep him, healthy and get ready for next season. I think the Steelers are going to compete this game no matter who's at quarterback for the Ravens. I think this 4.5 is pretty juicy. In a game that if Lamar plays, yeah, I still think the Ravens win. But if he doesn't, means Huntley, I think the Steelers are going to win this game. Talk about a divisional game where I think everyone knows who's going to win this one as the Bills host the Jets. Not much I can say about this one for at least convincing you who's going to win this game. But the Bills, they're playing for seeding here. Obviously, the Jets playing for nothing. The Bills are playing for a potential 2 to 3 seed here. But even more significantly, if the Bills lose this game and the Patriots win, the Patriots reclaim the divisional title. So, that's even more motivation for the Bills to win in a game they were probably going to win anyways. But, the Jets have been competing lately, as you saw against the Buccaneers this Sunday in a game where they barely lost. But, you give Tom Brady the ball in a 2-minute drill. That's what he's going to do to you. But the Bucs are competing. I think 17 points is too much to lay. So obviously the Bills are going to win. If I had to pick one, gun to my head, I had to pick one of these bets here. I'd probably pick the Jets plus 17 just for the way they competed last game, especially when it's in Buffalo. The weather there is always so unpredictable. It's going to be freezing there. It's probably going to be snowing. The wind's always a factor there too. And all those elements, the weather usually slows down the football game, hinders scoring performance, and that obviously helps an underdog that's being laid 17 points. So I think that if the Jets just slightly come out and compete and, the weather doesn't play to anyone's favor here, I think they can cover that 17. But I think everyone here knows that the Bills are going to win this game. And it's a couple teams like the Bengals or Chiefs lose, they can move up to the 2 or 3 seed here. So, again, they're going to obviously try to win this game for multiple reasons, and they got some playoff implications as well in terms of seeding once they lock up that division with the win. Packers here. Taking on the Lions, who've been just the worst team in football all season long. Packers have been just about the best team in football all season long. Not too much to say here. Packers win. They clinch home field advantage. That's what they're going to do, quite honestly. They can't afford to lose this game because if the Rams or Bucks win and the Packers lose, they take the 1 seed from them. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to let that happen. I also think in the back of his mind, he's also thinking about, his shot at his back-to-back MVP titles, and which he will get. If he wins this game against the Lions too and doesn't look awful. I think they're going to come out really early, stomping the Lions' throats. Aaron Rodgers is going to put a stamp on his MVP season performance, and the Packers are going to steam to a pretty convincing victory against the Lions, covering its 11 points. With here, we got the Panthers taking on the Buccaneers. Buccaneers is a quick scare against the Jets. I really did think they were going to lose that game. But yeah, should have known better than to count out Tom Brady. The Panthers here, who have looked pretty bad all season long, or at least after the first few weeks of the season, especially with their really declining play at quarterback, no matter who they throw out there. Tom Brady, he's not going to lose a game going to the playoffs. They're going to win this game, no doubt about that in my mind. How much they're going to win by, I think it's going to be more by this 9.5 points for a few reasons. I think they're really, they didn't come to play this week against the Jets. They were definitely looking past them. And that's why you saw a poor performance. There's really nothing to look past here because they don't even know where they're playing in the playoffs next week. Just in terms of how the team's all going to work out. They're going to say, we need to show ourselves and prove ourselves that what kind of football we're capable of playing. They want to go into the playoffs with as high of spirits as they can. And that's going to be playing dominant football and crushing their divisional opponent in the Panthers here. I think Brady's going to methodically pick apart this Panthers defense, who's been getting more and more lenient as the season goes on. And then the Panthers, they haven't really been able to get anything going offensively. They're not going to be able to run the ball as no one really has been able to against the Bucs defense most of this year. And then, like I said, their quarterback play, they're not going to be able to move the ball downfield with whoever they throw out there. Darnold, Walker, Newton, it doesn't matter. The Bucs are going to win this game pretty easy. I think Brady's going to take care of business. And one of those bounce back games where he's like, okay, guys, this is what we're capable of doing. And that's what he's going to do at the end of the season, week 18, at home against the Panthers. Here's a game, Colts are going to win this game, no doubt about it. They're playing the Jaguars, who just look absolutely awful. these last few weeks, and honestly the whole season too. Let's see here. Yeah, this game doesn't have too much. The Colts cannot win the division. The Titans have that locked up, but it does have some seeding implications here. Again, a lot of these picks I've been doing is the heavy favorite with playoff implications against a divisional team that doesn't have a lot going for them. But the Jaguars haven't been able to get much going on offense these last few weeks. I think this game's gonna be very similar to the game you saw them play against the Patriots, where it doesn't matter if the Jaguars know it or not, and they're prepared for it or not. The Colts are going to run the ball on them, and they're not going to be able to stop it. That's what the Patriots did to them. Occasionally, they're going to pass the ball and use the play action, drive the ball downfield. That's what the Patriots did. That's what I expect the Colts to do, especially at a bounce-back loss against the Raiders here. Colts play really good defense. They can get after the passer. They can get after the pass rush, play solid defense secondary, not really let up too much in the run game, led by Darius Leonard at linebacker. I just don't see the Jaguars put up many points, much like what you saw against the Patriots. And I think the Colts – a bounce back win here against and just beating up on the division opponent to feel good going into the playoffs. Here's a game that I've been waiting to see since week 1 when the Patriots lost to the Dolphins in New England that game. But the Patriots had 2 red zone fumbles by Damian Harris that cost them that game that I lost. I haven't forgot about it. I'm sure Bill Belichick hasn't forgotten about it either. This is a game where, again, if the Patriots win and the Bills lose, they take the title. So a lot to play for them. Again, going to the playoffs, trying to build that momentum that they've already been building the second half of the season. I think it's also a big revenge game as they lost that game. If the Patriots didn't lose that game, again, a game they should have won against the Dolphins at week 1, they would have the division title. So that's definitely a thorn in Belichick's side this season. That's been looming over his head since week 1. Patriots are going to come out here. I guarantee the Patriots win this football game. And not only that, I think they're going to win in convincing fashion. I don't think the Dolphins are really that good of a football team. Yeah, they put together a 7-game win streak, but a lot of those teams they played were pretty bad opponents. This is the New England Patriots. This is Bill Belichick. If you have deficiencies in your offense, and believe me, the Dolphins got plenty, they're going to expose it. Patriots are going to do what they do against every football team. They're going to run the ball down your throat, and the Dolphins aren't going to be able to stop it. Mac Jones just broke the Patriots rookie record for touchdown passes. I've been saying it all season long. He just keeps improving, keeps getting more comfortable in that offense. So when they need to throw the ball, he's been stepping up and able to do that. And I just think the Patriots are going to blow out the Dolphins here. A game that finally we're breaking our video where this game has no playoff implications at all. Bears playing the Vikings. COVID kind of hit the Vikings a little bit. Kirk Cousins, hard to read the Vikings' performance in this game against the Packers without him. But I do like the way the Bears played against the Giants. I know it's the Giants, and they're terrible in just about every aspect of football, but they did seem to play a little bit more inspired, getting after the quarterback, forcing turnovers on defense, guys flying on the football field. For that reason, and a game that really doesn't mean too much, I'm taking the Bears +4 here. They seem like David Montgomery, even Allen Robinson, emerging on offense a little bit. I think the Bears are taking a step in the right direction. The Vikings really haven't been these last few weeks. So I'm just going to ride the momentum here in a game that doesn't matter. Take the Bears +4. It's hard to predict a game where neither team's playing for anything. Here's a game where both teams are playing for something in the playoff spot here. You get seeding for both teams. Like I said, the Cowboys had this division locked up no matter even if the Eagles win this. But seeding matters for both these teams in this game. So you best believe that these guys are going to be coming to play this game. At the end of the day, I'm taking the Cowboys -2.5 in a very close game. But at the end of the day, I love the 2 DNs the Cowboys have, DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, who are really good pass rush in their own right. But I think it matters even more that these guys are so speedy and athletic. When you're playing a mobile quarterback like Jalen Hurts, that matters so much more. And then guys like Trayvon Diggs in the secondary who just have a penchant for forcing turnovers. Turnovers are going to be the difference in a close game like this, and in any close game in general, but especially this one. And I think that's going to be the difference for the Cowboys. And again, the Cowboys offense, one of the best in the league with just so much talent at running back and wide receiver here. I'll give the nod to Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts any day at quarterback as well. Their O-line superior to in Dallas. So they got a lot of things going for them. It's going to be a close game because, the Eagles are, playing for a little bit more as they're the wild card team. They got a little bit something more to prove playing at home. Going to be a very close game. I think turnover is the difference in this game. And the Cowboys are going to give me them -2.5. I'll take them to win by 3 this game. Titans trying to avenge their loss earlier this year against the Texans. I think that's exactly what they'll do. You saw them just beat up on Miami this last week. I don't think this game is going to be all that much different. And the Titans are going to, keep rolling. They're clicking on offense. Even more importantly, they're clicking on defense too, which is huge for them. Is if they win this game, they're the #1 seed in the AFC, which is huge. The only team in the AFC to get that first round bye. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Tennessee as long as they're still in it. A little bit of a revenge game, too, is one of the few losses done this season for the Titans was against the Texans, who are just completely an inferior football team in just about every aspect compared to the Titans. I think the main thing is here, especially with the defensive minded coach like Mike Vrabel, they're hitting their stride. They're going to stay consistent on that defensive front. I think they're going to make Davis Mills' life a lot harder than he's used to be with this against that Tennessee defense. And honestly, at the end of the day, they're just getting so much more healthy. The Titans, after like week 10, week 11, they were dealing with so many injuries. And that's when some of these losses, like against the Texans, came. But they're getting healthier guys, especially with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones at wide receiver getting healthier. Some key guys on defense, too. The team's starting to look scary again. There's a reason why they're the 1 seed in football. And so I think they're going to keep rolling in the playoffs into the 1 seed hot, and they're going to beat down on the Texans, even on the road. Chiefs here coming off a pretty stunning loss against the Bengals, taking down the Broncos, who just looked awful without Teddy Bridgewater. Whether it's Drew Lock at quarterback or if he's banged up, his understudy, the third-string quarterback, they just cannot get too much going on offense right there. Even with the good young talent at wide receiver they have, they really can't get much going. And if you can't get your offense going against the Chiefs, you're not going to have any shot because no matter who they're playing, they're going to put up points, regardless of how good your secondary in Denver is. So I really like the Chiefs here, coming off a loss to win this game, win by more than 9 points. The Chiefs right now are the Chiefs. They don't want to lose this game and drop even further down the standings and really start sliding towards the end of the season. If they win this game and the Titans miraculously lose, they reclaim the 1 seed. So definitely implications there. I think more important than anything, they know how talented they are. They're going to come out guns blazing this game. Again, comeback win after a pretty tough loss against the Bengals. I think they're going to come out firing. I think they're going to put up way too many points for the Broncos to handle, and they're going to win this game pretty easily. This is going to be my favorite game to watch in Week 18. This is the game where whoever wins this game is in the playoffs, and more likely than not, whoever loses this game is getting bounced out of the playoffs. So it's going to be a very competitive game. Every single snap, every single play is going to matter. Every single inch on the football field is going to be meaningful in this game, and it's going to be really fun to watch against divisional opponents, as all these games are. The Raiders with a pretty surprising win against the Colts, despite being touchdown underdogs, and then the Chargers beating up on the Broncos, who, like I said, can't get anything going on offense anyways. But I think this game's going to be close just for the sheer fact that, like I said, it's a coin flip game. Whoever wins is in the playoffs. When something like that happens, especially against divisional opponents, throw out the records, throw out the whatever's on paper. This is just going to be a hard-nosed, smash-mouth football game against divisional rivals who are no love lost between these two teams. And at the end of the day, when you get a game like that, when every single player in the field is putting it all on the line, a couple things. Give me the home team and give me the points right here. So I'm taking the Raiders +3 here. I think this game is truly coin flip. I think whoever's going to win this game is probably going to win by a last-second field goal. And so for that and that logic, that leads to me taking the Raiders +3. Obviously, I'm giving the Chargers the edge in this game. They're more likely to win, especially because their offense is just more capable than the Raiders is, especially when the Raiders are missing Darren Waller. But again, with all the implications this game has, being divisional opponents, the Raiders being at home, it's going to be extremely close. If this game was in LA, I don't think it would be as close. But having that home crowd on your side in a game where they know if you win this one, you make the playoffs in your first year being in Las Vegas, with the home fans there, it's going to be pretty special. So I think the home crowd is going to be very beneficial to the Raiders. It's going to be a very close game. So give me the Raiders +3 here. A couple more games we got left in the NFC West showdowns here. First off, the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals. The Cardinals still have a chance to win the division. If they win this game and the Rams lose to the Niners, which we'll talk about next, they claim the division title. So a very big game for the Cardinals in that sense. Seahawks really not playing for anything here. As a down year for Russell Wilson, he's likely out in Seattle here. But I think Russell Wilson is going to go out strong and at least go out fighting. His last game in Seattle, as he's built his career there, especially the fact that these NFC West teams, no matter the divisional standings and where teams line up, the end of the season, they're always ready to play spoiler and ruin the playoff chances and playoff shots for their opponent. So I think Russell Wilson, last game in Seattle, trying to play spoiler here, is going to compete with the Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals win the game because, again, they have a shot at winning the division here. They're going to come out firing. But with Russ being Russell Wilson's last game there, I think it's going to be pretty meaningful, and he's going to come ball out there. But in the same token, too, I've watched Kyler Murray in these last 2 seasons, and this dude is 5'10", 180. He's an average-sized guy, playing against just monsters in the D line and linebacker spot for his opponents. As mobile as a quarterback he is, he just takes way too many hits throughout the course of the season, and that really takes a toll in towards the end when you get to week 17 and week 18. You watch this guy in the first 8 weeks of the season, yeah, he's an MVP candidate because he's fresh. As the weeks go on and he keeps getting run down and keeps taking hits from 300-pound men, he starts to get a little bit slower. He starts to get a little bit more inaccurate, a little bit more banged up. So towards the end of the season, he's just not the same player as we're used to seeing. I think that's going to matter a lot in this game and in the playoffs too. So combine all of that together, and that leads me to the Seahawks competing this game. The Seahawks covering 6.5 points. Last game of the week, Niners playoff implications taking on the Rams in LA. So the Niners, again, they do not have their playoff spot locked up. They lose this game, and I think if the Saints win, they're out. So a lot on the line there. And then the Rams, they have the divisional title on the line. If they lose this game and the Cardinals win, which they're supposed to, they don't win their division. They end up, instead of being a home team in their first playoff game, they're playing on the road against a different divisional winner. So it's a big slide for the Rams here. Both these teams have a lot to play for, is what I'm trying to say. And I can say the same thing, and that's the same point about the Raiders game when both teams have something to play for. Both teams have very big playoff implications. A divisional opponent, it's going to be a close game. Throw out the records, throw out the names on paper, any analysis, it's going to be a close game. And I would be shocked if it isn't. And for that reason, give me the Niners plus 5.5. I know Trey Lance is playing quarterback, but with how much talent they have at wide receiver with Ayuk, Samuel, and Kittle at tight end, they have enough firepower there, especially with their run game, to keep this game close, control the ball in the run game, which the Niners always seem to do. Divisional opponent, I don't care if they're on the road. It's going to be a really good game to watch with both these teams putting it on the line. And, Stafford hasn't really played in too many big games in his career being over there in Detroit. I'm excited to see what he can do under pressure, especially when you get guys like Nick Bosa and that Niners D-line breathing down his neck all game. Let's see if he can, stop forcing turnovers, which you've seen him do throughout most of his career. Really good game here. Give me the team that has, everything to lose and the points here in the Niners in a really close game in LA. So here's a recap of our Week 18 picks. Again, and I'm picking a lot of these favorites to win, especially the favorites when they have playoff implications, because I think, when you have so much to lose, you really come out with everything you got in this last week, and the team with more talent, if they're giving it all they got, wins games more often than not. So that's what I got going on here. Going to be a lot of really good games in Week 18. There's so much on the line. Like I said, divisional opponents always played that much more intensity. So it's going to be great. A lot of games. It's going to be really exciting. I'm going to be glued to my couch on Sunday. Hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for taking a few weeks off. It's been really busy over here. But again, if you enjoy it, like the video, subscribe, keep helping us out, and let us know how much you enjoy these videos in the comment section. This is our last regular season video, but rest assured we'll be back for the playoffs with more analysis there too. Can't wait to see what's going on in the playoffs. And one last thing, just a reminder, Prize Picks, you want to sign up, great daily fantasy site where if you sign up with their code ProPicks, they'll match your deposit up to $100. They do a lot of promos, especially lately, that make winning money a lot easier, especially if you're looking at things like FanDuel. You're making these same bets. You're getting a lot better odds on Prize Picks. Again, use our code ProPicks. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed these videos for the past 18 weeks. I had a lot of fun making them, had a lot of fun interacting with all you guys in the comment section. It's been great, and I can't wait for the playoffs. Best of luck in Week 18.